right, we got Elijah Knight in. I actually said it right this time, right?
Yes, you sure did.
All right, so we have John Tiggerman coming in. Always say his name wrong, Tig. But it's interesting to me to get your point of view as a younger man, and then for him to come in later as, Tig.
Exactly.
To compare the different thoughts versus the generations. So right now, the last time you were in, you thought that Ukraine and Russia would be done by now.
Yes, I did.
What do you think he's thinking?
I'm not too sure, just because at that level, I thought he would have just. I know for a fact that Russia can flatten out Ukraine. They're not as strong as Russia, so it is pretty weird.
And then where's China at now? Because in my thought, I figured, okay, so Russia goes and attacks Ukraine. While everybody's worried about that, boom, China makes their move real quick, and it's done.
Yes.
But now that he took forever, I mean, is it worth it to China for them to do that and possibly fuck up their economy?
It's tough to say, just because right now, as looking at China's economy, they're rapidly growing. Like, their GDP is growing drastically, even compared to America, just comparing the both. And a lot of reports are even saying, is China going to be the new superpower, which they actually potentially have. So the scariest thing was actually Russia, if they would go berserk and continue to press upon Ukraine and also the neighboring countries. China also gave them their backing. So with China being potentially the superpower, maybe one day in the future, since they have that backing, it's a scary thought. So maybe it is a good thing that Russia didn't flatten them out yet, because I feel like Putin could have definitely did worse things.
Now, do you still think that the reason why he didn't just go ham, even though he's going ham now, was because he didn't want to rebuild it? I mean, because eventually, if he does take the whole thing over, I don't think he will. I think they'll make some sort of deal where there will be part of Ukraine, and then the rest will be Russia, I think.
Well, he was suffering...
Oh, yeah, he had, like, real bad COVID, right? And he was, like, in a bunker for, like, fucking 2 years, and nobody knew where the fuck he was, other than counting his Bitcoin money.
I mean, the Bitcoin money is probably...
What was he doing in that bunker with? Over fucking COVID? Because he didn't want to get... They said he's, like, a germaphobe, right?
Yeah, he's not... Yeah, he's definitely...
Like, he literally was, like, in a bunker for, like, 2 fucking years.
All because of COVID?
Yeah, I think.
Jesus.
I don't know. He was, like, staying away from everybody, but then they were talking about him being slow. Now, I don't think for 2 seconds he's slow.
No, he's not slow at all. Yeah, I don't think so at all. No.
But they said he was getting cancer treatment. So
really?
Yeah. So, like, in the news, it was like he was in the bunker because of COVID.
No, I don't think it has to be more than just that.
Yeah, look, this motherfucker gets on a bear and rides it. You see him?
Yeah, exactly. He's crazy.
With the shirt off. And, like, doesn't care.
Yeah,
so I don't think
crazy.
he's going to hide from some flu.
No, not at all.
But if he has cancer, he might hide, because then he would look weak to other countries.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's... the cancer is definitely believable. I really don't think because of COVID. I mean, I think he's also been through a lot too. I know his background hasn't he done like some military?
I don't know. I just know he's been president there since like 90.
No, I know
he's like been there forever.
We gotta see the comments after this, because I know he's done some. There's a crazy military background. Yeah.
But he's like, you can be president there. He's been president there, I think, since 1990. That's fucking 30 years as president. And then he had like a 2-year hiatus or something. I don't know. But he's flattening shit now. Now, here's my big question to you. With the U.S. bringing money into them, like we just gave them $736 billion, I think.
Yes.
Or million. It might have been million. Now, how is Russia going to react to that along with China behind them? Because are we getting too involved now in this, do you think?
I think not even Russia or China will be upset at the fact that we're giving money. I think even the American people are also upset too, because a lot of that money, I mean, you've seen the memes, everyone has social media, so it's kind of like frustrating for a lot of the American people too, just because a lot of money can go to our economy. Even our GDP has dropped from 2019 to 2020 drastically. Like, it's disgusting. It's bad. But then why are you seeing other countries rise up? And it's a big issue, because a lot of people, a lot of economical researchers, they're wondering if China's literally going to be the next superpower, and they have potential. Like, they're growing super, super fast.
I think they are. I think they are because...
And everything's made from China nowadays. If you look at...
everything. You open up everything. A fucking bag of anything.
Exactly.
I think they will be. And I don't... In my opinion, and, you know, you're a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just observing. I don't think China's going to make a move. I think they're so patient.
They are.
And I just think that now's not the time, and I just don't think that they will.
Reports are saying their GDP is growing by 5.7% per year.
How is that possible? Because when Trump was in, we were killing them. And then Trump left, and now China's got a better economy.
Oh, we dropped.
Yeah, we dropped.
We dropped really, really bad. But yeah, they've been growing. And they said studies actually say that 2025, they're going to keep on growing 5.7% annually per year. And then it may drop down maybe afterwards to the 4s.
And then what are they predicting that we grow? If they're growing at what, 5.7%?
Well, that's what they're also saying too. So the studies are saying that one day China can just surpass us as the superpower, which, I mean, honestly, everything comes from China, which is another issue. Like, why, excuse me, and I'm not in the position to really say this, but why not put that money to America for the American people? And there's a lot of issues, even with the COVID bills and where money goes to. Like, America was giving money to many different projects that, like why are we giving X amount to this country? Why are we putting money into art? Like, there is actually America putting money into art, which is
that's fine and everything.
Why are you putting taxpayers' money? Like, do you care about the art? No, like I'd rather see our economy grow. So it's a lot of and it's crazy because a lot of people sit back and they just kind of just sit in the sidelines and just let this shit happen. But there's a lot of CEOs actually coming about, and it's like, I'm not sure if you see Andy Frisella's podcast. So he's a big speaker. Like, he speaks out, especially with the whole COVID bullshit. So when they're closing out companies and they're saying, hey, like, you have to close down your company, you can't pay your people, this guy was like, fuck that. Like, you're not going to tell me to close my business. Like, we're in America. Like, why are you telling us to shut our shit down when
over a mask or whatever?
Yeah, over COVID. Yeah. Like, you're literally gonna fire people and potentially lose your company. That's like someone telling you, Tommy, stop your podcast. You can't have me here. You can't have Tig here. You can't have Rob here. Just cut everything off because of COVID. How are you gonna feel about that? Yeah,
and go home, and I'm gonna give you a check
exactly
so that it eases the blow. But then when you spend the check, your job's still gone.
And what was that check? Well, like $600.
Yeah.
That doesn't even cover rent. So that's why.
Well, then they give you a second one.
Exactly.
They push it even higher, you know.
And look where we're at today. Yeah. Look at gas prices. So that's right there is a lot of the American people, especially CEOs, as Andy Frisella, feels like the government's like saying fuck you, and it's a rough.
I think they're behind it all. I don't think that we have a gas shortage. I don't think that all that shit's on the boats. I don't. I mean, I think there's shit on the boats, but I don't think that it can't be brought in. Like, I don't think there's any reason that milk should be $11 a gallon.
No.
But I think this administration wants it like that because then they have full control. Because when they do that, then they control everything. Because now you need them. If milk is $11 a gallon and gas is, $7, $8 in California for $8 to $7, bro. And we're not even talking about eggs and everything else. Yeah. Now what happens? You need the government. You need them.
Exactly.
And plus you make the guy that's in there now look really bad, and then the next one who runs on that side, you can't not look good compared to him.
Exactly. So, and they better bring like a good candidate, which they probably are.
Who do you think they'll bring? I think it's going to be Michelle Obama.
If they do, they'll win.
I think so too. I don't think anybody can beat her. Too much power.
I don't think Trump can beat her.
No.
Personal opinion.
No, I don't.
Especially where America's going at today.
Well, you got to look. She was Obama's wife.
Yes.
Who is the best talker I've ever heard in my life to this day.
Yes.
That guy can talk the socks off somebody.
Exactly.
And her. The only thing stupid I thought she did was the school lunches.
Well, what did she do with the school lunches?
So this is funny. So what she did was, remember, I don't know if you remember, they were saying that USPS, like the United States Postal Service, people don't believe me, but you can Google it or you can't.
I definitely got it.
You got to do it on Brave. But like they keep saying USPS was losing money?
Yes.
Like the Postal Service. Okay, how can they be losing money when there's a fucking line from here to the moon in half of the places, and it's $27 now for overnight, $9 for priority, whatever it is, right? How the fuck could they be losing money? They're not losing money. What they did was Obama came in and they took all the profit from USPS for that particular year or quarter or whatever the hell it was, but it fucked them up. And they put it all into those healthy school lunches that Miss Obama. Other than that, I thought she was pretty cool. But the lunch thing was just a really bad idea. But they took all the money from the Postal Service, put it in there. So now while that's happening, nobody understands who Amazon's about to be. So USPS then makes a deal with Amazon. A shitty deal, not realizing that Amazon's going to be the fucking second biggest company in the planet. Yeah. And that they just made a deal to deliver packages in 2 days for $2 a package. So now you have the initial loss from Michelle Obama, but that was just maybe a year or a quarter. But then what they tried to do to make up from that loss was make a deal with Amazon, and they got killed.
God damn.
How about that shit?
That is crazy.
And now when you get your mail, everybody's bitching about the mail being late and everything else. Yeah. It's because what they did was, to try to combat all this, they bought out all the old timers. So now the old timers are gone. Like the normal person, I mean, there's some, but for the most part, they bought them out because now they don't have to pay benefits. They don't have to pay a pension, nothing. So now they bring in temps. So now when a temp has all the mail, they don't give a fuck. They're not getting benefits. They're not going to get hired full time.
Oh,
they know that.
Yeah.
They're temporary. They could be fired in 6 months. So if they don't know what apartment your place is, here, somebody will find it.
Yeah, I see videos of people throwing up packages like they're
because they're temps. Because
that's crazy.
That's why shit's getting lost. And they're working them to death, but then they cut them right at like the 33-hour mark, so they can't give them benefits. So
wow.
And then you have Amazon going huge, and now Amazon made a deal with FedEx in some sort of fucking weird way. Who the fuck knows? But weird.
Yeah, I always see the Amazon. I think they're Sprinters, the Mercedes.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch. They have a whole fleet.
Well, they had that thing where you could like buy part like a. They had all those ads where you could be an Amazon driver and you get the Mercedes and $20 an hour. I asked a couple of those guys. They ain't getting no $20 an hour. You see that he got shit for working them to death?
Wow.
But I don't really think that shit. If you're gonna work there, I mean, you're gonna work your ass off. You
got to put in. You got to put in time.
Now, when you look at the United States the way it is now, and everything that we thought was kind of isn't anymore. How do you think we ever go back to normal, or is normal not ever going to be normal again?
I really don't think normal is going to ever be normal again. We're so deep into the society how it is today, and it's very unfortunate because even just looking at the military, there's TikToks and there's a lot of like the old timers, a lot of like past Marines or past Army veterans. They're really making fun of us just because everything's happened in society. And then you have like there's a video of like Army soldiers and they're women just twerking in uniform. So it's like are you serious? Like that there's that going on. And then I see there was another one where they're saying if the Marines will go to war tomorrow, and the guy was wearing like some outrageous outfit, like it was
a dress.
Yeah, it was like a dress, and it was crazy. Like I'm like, wow, this is how people view us as the military today. So it's where we're going at is.
Well, tell me the truth. Is this timeout card thing real? Do they really have that in the Marines?
No, not in the Marine Corps. No, the timeout card.
That's all
no
bullshit.
No. So maybe another. I'm not sure about other branches, but for the Marines, no.
There isn't that. And you're an active duty Marine.
Yes,
right
I'm an active duty Marine.
Okay.
So, and the thing is, with the Marines, we do our best to keep the past traditions, the customs and courtesies still in the Marine Corps. We still try and keep that in.
Who has the timeout cards? Like where they get Like if you're getting yelled at too much by your sergeant, you can say timeout.
Okay.
I know it's one of them.
Maybe the Army. I really think the Army has it.
Wait, worried about Glenn?
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about Glenn, but
Or John.
Glenn, if you're watching, maybe you got a timeout card too. Who knows?
Hey, really, though?
I think
Tell me the
so.
truth.
I really think so. I think maybe the Army, they have a timeout card
Now,
or something like that.
Now, can you imagine China's just sitting there watching their GDP go up, and they go, these motherfucking guys in the military got timeout cards.
Yes,
Are you kidding
that's
me?
insane.
And meanwhile, in China, you can't be on the internet, I think, after 3 p.m. or 6, and every male has to be in the military, right? Or do something with the military. It's something insane. This podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go to www.expressvpn.com, use code MSCS, and get 20% off your order.
VPN is a power tool for your devices that enhances the internet. With it, you can do 3 really cool things. 1. Watch movies and TV from any of your devices, fast and securely. 2. You can use parts of the internet that are blocked in certain countries. 3. You can keep your internet traffic private, even when you're on an unsecured public network.
That's www.expressvpn.com. Use the code MSCS at checkout and get 20% off your order.
And that's the thing that's frightening for. I'm not a high military. I'm a sergeant in active duty Marines, so especially speaking to Tig is going to be interesting just because he's been there. He's been high, very high in the ranks. So it's crazy to see how disciplined some of the American military members are compared to how other foreign countries are. Like you said, China is very disciplined. So it's like the American military needs to be on that same page, at least very disciplined as well. And some, just from looking at TikTok, and they even said before, when China owned TikTok, Americans can't have it, especially if you're in the military. It was literally a thing before when TikTok first came out. The American military members, any service member, cannot have TikTok.
Really? You weren't allowed to have it?
We're not allowed to have it. But there was still some, just because they had a little, TikTok clout or TikTok fame, they still wanted to keep on posting. So that's the stuff I'm talking about, is you're serving in the military. It's a serious thing. Yeah. This is your job. This is your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not even a job. I would never even call being a Marine a job. It's a lifestyle. And it's a lifestyle you got to take very seriously. So that's a thing that it is very frustrating, because now you have veterans looking at this, or even probably battalion commanders even getting this stuff, or any higher up, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, are you serious? You're posting this just to get attention and some likes? Maybe a comment?
Last time Tig was in here, he said, I went into boot camp in better shape than when I came out. In other words, before he went into Marine boot camp, he was in better shape than when, like, him going through Marine boot camp made him out of shape, is what he was basically. Really, I swear to God.
No, so that is a true thing. I got very, very skinny coming out of boot camp.
But you would think it would make it tougher, though.
It made me mentally tougher. Honestly, it going into boot camp, it broke me down. Like I told you before, I grew up in New York. I grew up in Newburgh, New York. Not really the best area. I did go through some stuff as a kid, but going through the Marine Corps, it made me realize, it was like Elijah Knight, I don't give a fuck who you were before. You're here now. You're here, and you're. And the thing is, I love about the Marine Corps is, it's like no one amounts to shit. Like when you go in, you're all cut from the same fucking cloth. You don't amount to shit, and we're all going through this shit together, and you just come up, literally. So you go through boot camp, you. It's like you're not shit, but then you come out together, and then bam, you're a Marine. So like that graduation day is literally, like, honestly, I think if someone was to ask me, besides the day my daughter was born, me graduating boot camp was definitely one of the best days of my life.
Congratulations.
So it was. I think those 2 days are there, honestly.
Once you got through boot camp, what was the hardest physical thing you had to do? What's one thing that sticks out in your mind where you're like, oh shit, this ain't no joke?
Going through boot camp?
Like either boot camp or after boot camp. So far in the Marines, what was the worst thing you had to do physically? Like that was really hard to do and you were like, oh man.
So let's see. I think the hardest thing, probably just like some of the PT sessions that we really had. It was really physical tough. Or even actually in the field. So there was one field out we went to. It was in Still Night, and I was beat tired. It was a shitty day. Everyone was not having a good day, so everyone's mentally kind of off. It was like probably 2 weeks in the field. You know, we're all smelling like trash, and you know, we're eating MREs and stuff like that. Like, just, you know, everyone just wants to go home. And then one of our tents blew over because it was really windy in 29 Palms. And then I had to literally fix that shit. And like, I literally stayed up from 10 o'clock at night trying to put a tent down all the way to 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sweaty. Like, I'm tired. Like, my body's fatigued. And then 2 hours I had to watch. And I did really well in 511. Shout out to all my leadership there. I did very, very well. So they wanted to put me on as watch chief. And I had like a 12-hour shift. So literally they were like, all right, put up the tent. I went to bed. I think I bed down about 4:30. And then 6 o'clock I had to be up. So I had like an hour and 30 minutes of sleep. And then I was just like, fuck. Like, I have it. And I have to be sharp because there's literally like active missions going on. And I have to be tracking everyone's movements, all the batteries' movements. And
so you have to constantly be aware of everything that's going on around you, while you have to be aware of yourself too and what you got to do.
Yes. Fuck. But the thing is, I did appreciate it because it was training for if I ever went overseas. It was a real life scenario. Like, sometimes shit happens, you know, sometimes our vehicles get wrecked. So now we have to tow that vehicle. We have to do this, that, and the third to just continue the game plan, continue the mission, and push forward. So sometimes, you know, it's like life throws you a curveball. You still got to hit the fucking home run. There's no excuse. You just got to get that shit done.
I'm just so relieved that the Marines don't have timeout cards, because for the last 2 weeks, I probably have brought that up to everybody that's been in here, or maybe a month, about this fucking timeout card. So it's in the fucking Army. What are they, nuts?
It either has to be the Army or the Air Force.
Either or. Are they fucking nuts?
That's what
What are you going to do, like, when you go actually fight somebody if you have to, which
I know
right now it's not like it's off the table like it used to. The really weird thing about China is if you get caught with anything white, they really don't give a shit. Like coke, they really don't care. They're like, go ahead.
Really?
But if you get caught with H, you're dead. It's over. Like, you just disappear.
Wow.
So now get this. The guy who I'm talking about who went over there was a comedian. And I guess when he went in there with whoever, they said, look, don't make fun of the Chinese government, right? Don't, whatever your little act is, don't make fun of the Chinese government, okay? Of course he didn't, but when he went in, there were stories where people that did just literally went fucking missing.
What?
Yeah. I
believe it, too. I believe it.
So then, as he's telling me, I don't believe him. And then he's telling me, he's like, do you know that, when people die over there, like people that are in jail, if they need an organ, they'll kill them in jail and they'll take the organ to save somebody in like regular life. So like, say you need a liver, but John Doe is in China prison down the street and he's doing 10 years. They're going to go kill him, take his liver and get
What?
Yeah.
They will kill him?
Yeah. Look. China forcefully harvests organs from detainees, Tribune concludes. And if you go down to it, it's fucking crazy. Read that. China organ transplant trade is worth $1 billion a year.
Wow.
Transplant, just that alone, that they're trading transplants.
This is crazy.
Look, the organs of members of, I'm the worst. You read this. I'm the worst pronunciator that ever lived.
So London, the organs of members marginalized groups detained in Chinese prisons camps are being forcefully harvested, sometimes when patients are still alive. An international tribunal sitting in London has concluded.
What I tell you?
That is fucking nuts. That's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Look at that.
1.5 million detainees in Chinese prison camps are being killed for their organs to serve a booming transplant trade that is worth some $1 billion per year. Concluding that China, an independent body tasked with investigating organ harvesting from prisoners of conscience in the authoritarian state.
Now, what do you think about that? That's crazy, right?
That is insane.
Not a place you want to get locked up at.
Authoritarian.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
And then you see this fucking guy, Max Burns. Did you see this guy?
No.
Look at this. He was talking about, so with the Will Smith and the Chris Rock thing, so they were going through and they were saying that Will Smith was like a Scientologist, or he was in
Yes.
right? And I guess when you're in Scientology or something, when you go to, like if me and you are arguing, instead of fighting, I hit you like this, like that or something, something weird. So when they kept replaying the Chris Rock and the Will Smith thing, he backed up, you know, he put his leg back in his arm, but when he hit him, he kind of went like that. So they're saying that they went to, what the hell is he, what's Burns saying? The slap is much less interesting when you realize Will Smith almost certainly went through Scientology courses that teaches you to unapologetically use slaps and physical force. But then, you know, you could Google that and you can debunk it, but I don't know. Now, when you watched him hit him, it looked like he was about to rock him, but then he didn't.
I thought he was going to.
But then
rock the shit out of him.
But then Rock's face went back like that. I don't know. It looked staged. I mean, I know it wasn't because they just canned him from. He can't go back there.
He can't go back there.
10 years, he can't.
Wow. He's going through a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
If you don't want, look, if you don't want to get made fun of, okay, then don't sit up front when Chris Rock is in the house or Dave Chappelle, all right? And then you go up on stage at the biggest night of your life.
Yeah. But I mean, not even with that, but the whole Jada Pinkett thing too. Like he's taking L after L.
Real L's.
Yeah, like he's taking.
He probably cheated on her once or twice, and she goes, "Okay, well now I'm just gonna fuck whoever I want. And you got to deal with it, motherfucker."
Yeah, exactly.
And she probably fucked Chris Rock.
Maybe
that's why he fucking hit him.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, really? Maybe she fucked Chris Rock, and
he's looking like the biggest simp of society right now.
Yeah, he's in like India right now doing some type of meditational thing.
He probably needs it because.
Well, he just lost about 300 million in rolls. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he lost a lot. They lost a fucking shit ton of rolls, man.
But honestly, I think the slap, in my personal opinion, is not that big of a deal. I mean, he slapped him, and then he just walked off the stage. It's not like he pulled a gun on him or.
Yeah, but then but then if you're a comedian now and you go out to the stage, now you got to worry about if somebody's.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
And now, if you're a Chris Rock, a Dave Chappelle, you know, one of these legends, and you got to worry about that. It's okay if somebody comes up and pops you. And okay, Will Smith gave a hit like that. How if Mike Tyson's up front?
Oh yeah, and he just fucking rocks the shit out of you.
You'll never hear another funny joke again.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody, you know, so it's not just about like the slap or the environment. It's the standard that was set because now it's like, okay, so if I'm in the front row and somebody makes fun of me, I can go hit them and not get arrested. Well, that's Will Smith. You know, I think they should have hauled his ass out. Yeah,
that's a no-go. Yeah, but the thing is, I think everyone needs to understand too that comedy is comedy, and that's it. Like they even try to cancel Dave Chappelle over, I believe he was making some gay jokes or something like that, or
it was like I forget exactly. It was that Netflix special, but if you watch the whole thing, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but when I read about it, whatever they were killing him about was bullshit because when he circled back around, it was like. If he made a gay joke, he circled back around to like make fun of himself.
Exactly.
But they didn't mention that part. It was just the one part that he said. But they forgot to mention that if he made fun of a gay guy, then he made fun of himself as a straight guy, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they tried to kill him and everything else. So then you hit Chappelle, probably the funniest guy alive right now.
Yes.
So now, is he going to hesitate when he goes out again? You know, when he goes on his next tour, is he going to hold back a little bit? Because if he does, he's not going to be Chappelle.
No, he's not going to. Yeah, it's gonna restrict him from him being himself. So, and honestly, if someone was to target me like as a comedian, I'm gonna laugh about it because it's legit funny shit. I'm not gonna take it to heart because his job it's comedy. Like the shit that Dave Chappelle says, everyone laughs at it. So I don't get why. And that's the thing with society today is like, why are you taking it to heart?
Yeah, I mean, remember he had the Chappelle show.
Yeah,
I mean, he made more money than anybody.
Exactly,
at that show, and he walked away. He walked away from. Remember that?
Yep.
They had offered him like $50 million at the time, and at the time nobody was getting $50 million anymore.
Exactly,
because it was starting to fade into the internet. They offered him $50 million, and he said, "Fuck it, I need a break." So all that time, what do you think? He didn't make a racist joke or a gay joke? Or
exactly.
anything?
Yeah.
You know, but then, you know, now he goes out and he doesn't, you know, and I don't think that he probably really doesn't give a fuck, but he's got a family, you know, he's got kids.
He has kids to
and
feed.
now his kids go to school, oh, your dad's this, your dad's that. You know, that's why the Chris Rock and the Will Smith is such a big deal. It's not just he got up on stage and hit him, because now you got Chappelle, and now what's even worse is you got two black men hitting each other.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? You know, that's just a bad example for the younger generation, you know?
And it was the worst thing?
Why?
Jada Pinkett didn't even stand by him.
No,
she was like, that's unprofessional. Yeah, she was.
No,
like,
he sat back down and she laughed at him.
Yeah.
She was like laughing. She's probably like, I got your ass, motherfucker.
Exactly.
I'm getting some big dick tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, she didn't even stand by him when he slapped Chris Rock. She was like, oh, that was disgusting behavior. Like, it's unprofessional. So I was like, damn, like, no one's on your side on this, really.
But then they were saying that she told him to go do it.
Really?
Yeah. Early on, they were saying like she told him to go do it or tapped him. You know, it was all kinds of fucking stories to try to, I guess, to try to calm down the.
But the funny thing, he laughed at the joke in the video.
Yeah.
He laughed when he said G.I. Jane. So.
Yeah, right. He was sitting there. You could see him from behind, and he laughed.
And
then she whispered something to him.
Yeah, but I know she looked. She didn't laugh at the joke at all. She was pretty pissed about it.
Oh, well.
From the video, she was mad. She kind of rolled her eyes when the camera was facing her when he said the whole G.I. Jane 2. And then so it was like he didn't know that she had a hair condition or.
And Rock was even like, it's a G.I. Jane joke.
Yeah, it's a G.I. Jane joke. Like,
keep
relax.
your wife out my mouth.
Yeah.
I hope Rock tears him apart for the rest of his career. I hope every single fucking
I don't know why
improv he goes to, stadium, I hope he destroys that fucking dude.
That is
he
insane.
Just fucks shit up.
No, yeah, that's unprofessional. It sucks.
And then you go hit the next channel, and there's Johnny Depp and this other broad.
I didn't really get into that, but did you research it or?
Yeah, I've been watching it, but I don't know what the hell is going on with those two. I mean,
oh man, I just know things with court. God bless him, because.
Well, I mean, Johnny. I mean, to me, I think he's one of the best actors.
Oh, for sure.
Ever, period.
Especially after watching Donnie Brasco, that amazing movie.
How can you go from Donnie Brasco and like Black Mass to Pirates of the Caribbean?
Exactly.
I mean, that's one hell of a roll switch.
Yes.
And I mean,
he crushed them all.
Crushed them. She's saying that he was abusive. He's saying that she was abusive. That whole bullshit back and forth. So then they took him out of the next Pirates of the Caribbean because of her.
Wow.
And I think that was a big thing for him, like personally. Like,
yes, because he's the face of it.
Yeah, he's the face of it. So when they knocked him off of the Pirates of the Caribbean because of her, that's when he was like, all right, let's go. So now they've been in a week, and he went up first, and he had a pretty fucked up childhood.
Wow.
Yeah, he was on stand like 12 hours. And then he was on again the next day. Real slow, and I don't know. I mean, it's when I think she goes on stand today or tomorrow or Monday. I don't know. She goes on stand soon. And whenever she does, he's basically said everything about himself. Like he said, I do coke once in a while. Yeah, I drink, whatever, but I don't hit people. I don't
exactly.
Hit women. So when they cross-examine him, his lawyers did a good job, because pretty much the first 2 days that he was on the stand, he basically admitted to everything he ever did in his life and probably added a little bit to it.
Yep.
So then when her lawyers come, what are you going to say to him? He already just sat here and told you he did coke.
Exactly.
He already sat here and told you he likes to have a little bit of liquor in the morning. He already sat here and told you he hit a wall a couple times. What are you going to nail him with?
Exactly.
He's already sat here and told you.
Mm-hmm. It's not like anyone's going to be blindsided. He already put into light.
It's a shame, though. Once a male actor, whether he did or didn't, gets accused of anything like that,
they're cut out.
Never the same. Yep. And that's one killer actor. But
exactly.
Even if he wins, I don't think they'll look at him the same.
Yeah, and it's the way the society looks at it. It's unfortunate.
Now, if he wins, what do you think they do about Pirates of the Caribbean?
I say they better throw him on, because I don't know who else.
Shit ton of money.
Who else are they going to bring? Realistically, a lot of people watch it because of Johnny Depp. So
maybe Colin Farrell. I mean, he kind of looks like him a little bit.
I don't think they could pull it off with him.
No, I mean,
no.
They would be stupid. I mean, even if this, I think the judge is going to just be like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Exactly.
Really, I think. I think at the end, it's too much bullshit.
Yes.
Because, he did this, she did this. How do you know?
Exactly.
The fuck? You're both alive. You both look pretty good to me. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. It's pointless.
Thanks for the press time or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's a shame, though, because I don't think we'll get the roles again.
No.
But if I'm Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't care what he did.
Exactly. I'm keeping him on.
Because that movie makes like, 200, 300 million per
A
clip?
shit ton.
And it's not happening without him.
No, it's not.
There's nobody that could possibly.
Yeah, I'm not going to want to watch this. That's like saying, let's make another Fast and Furious, but not put Vin Diesel.
How many Fast and Furiouses have they made?
Way too many.
That and what's the robot one that they keep making over and over again?
Robot one.
Not robot. It
Terminator?
turns into cars and shit. No, it turns into
Transformers?
Transformers, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did a lot of those too. But yeah, it's like saying, like, who else does like a main role?
I mean, the only person I could think that could maybe pull it off, and you're going to laugh when I tell you this, is Leonardo DiCaprio. Just because he's just a fucking monster.
Now, he's a beast, but, man,
Yeah, that's a good question. But he doesn't have the look. But they can make him look.
Yeah, they can make him look like that.
He's too busy getting a bunch of pussy right now.
Yeah. He's a beast.
Imagine his numbers.
He's a beast.
He goes and does a monster movie, kills it, millions and millions of tickets. You don't see him, and then once in a while you'll see him on TMZ. He's out on some fucking island with the most beautiful girl you ever saw in your life. And then he says, okay, I guess I'll go back to work and make another killer movie.
Exactly. But he did The Great Gatsby, which he did phenomenal in.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Is one of my favorite movies.
That was
he did
a
great
movie, man.
He did so good.
I want to try to get Jordan Belfort in here.
That would be so badass.
He was in Australia for a while. He's here now. He's got a podcast.
Yeah, he has his own podcast. He brought Grant Cardone on.
Yeah,
I seen that podcast.
He's a funny motherfucker, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a
he's he's a savage though.
Dude,
I love his mindset.
I bought that book called The Straight Line. He written at the end of the movie,
yes,
he comes up and he's trying to sell his book. Like at the very end of the movie, Leonardo's there and he's at the helicopter, and then the feds come raid him. And then at the very, very end, Jordan gets on stage and he's showing his book, and it's called The Straight Line. And it's a book about business pretty much and life, kind of like the lines to take to maneuver.
Yes.
It's kind of like the way to beat Wall Street legally. Like when I'm reading, I felt like I was in Wall Street, and like this is how you kind of corner this one.
Yes.
And that. But there was also like some really good tips in there. But then I saw him in Australia shortly after that, after he got out of everything, made all the money. And I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I like him too much, so I don't know what the fuck he was doing. And the Wolf of Wall Street was too good, but I would
just love to talk to him just because of that mindset that he has. He has it's definitely different.
Because it doesn't matter how you make money. Anybody that can make that amount of money, they're smart as fuck.
They're smart as fuck. And they have the will and the heart to go there. A lot of people, they even have the intelligence, but they're just not willing to really throw themselves out there, and he actually did.
And he still has the drive.
He still has the drive to this day.
Yeah. I mean, who else can you think like that? The only other person I could think of is like Dan Pena. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah, I know he is. But there's a lot of a lot of people don't like him.
Why? Well, because he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's rich as fuck. He lives in a castle, and he breaks you down and tells you the way it is.
That's true.
The guy fought a bear, like a real bear, with bare hands. He had to get 2 hips replaced in his shoulder. But
Jesus.
He decided that before he died, he wanted to fight a bear. I'm dead serious. And he went and fought a bear.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. And that's one of many crazy-ass things he did. I used to watch, before I got into Rogan, he was all I watched.
Yeah, I know. He has like a lot of, he pops up in a lot of motivational clips and stuff. He does say some good stuff, like where it's more like direct and to the point. Like kind of like get the fuck out of your head and go do the shit they need to fucking do.
I think it's like if you watch his classes, because he brings like 20 guys into his castle.
Yes.
And it reminds me of like what you guys say about the Marines. I mean, he'll take you and he'll find everything that ever hurt you in your life and break you down to where you feel this big. I mean, where you want to kill him, he'll just crush you. Like if your dad hurt you, he'll just drive it in with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
If anything ever hurt you, he's already studied it, figured it out. And he'll call you a pussy, and you're this, you're that, you're nothing, you're no good, and bring you down to here. and then he brings you back up. And people don't like that because they think that he's abusing them.
Exactly.
And it does seem like that at first, but when you take in my opinion, this is just my opinion,
Yes.
and I respect anybody's opinion, but when you take a 20 or 30-year-old man who kind of already has his mindset, if you break him down to nothing again, then you have a chance to build him back up.
Exactly. And then implant something new into his mind.
Right. But until you break that person down and all the emotions he or she may be holding in and everything that hurts them that they try to hide from the world because
Yes.
they want to look tough or don't want to look weak, he will destroy you. He just will. I mean, anybody that can fight a bear and still be alive.
Oh yeah, no, that's insane.
He'll kick your ass and he'll find it out and you'll sit there and cry. But that's the purpose, because then he can build you back up
Yep.
and help you be a better man. And what the people that don't like him don't know is that Dan Pena was the $1 million man. Now he's the $1 billion man. He's probably the fucking $1 trillion man now. But once you go to his class and he breaks you down and he kills you, he follows you for a year. Everything you do, every day you got to check in. And he calls himself the $1 billion man because he's had classes with kids that have made over $1 billion. Like they came in, in the Marines or, working a job or doing a podcast, whatever. They came to him and now they're making over $1 billion. So that's why
That's crazy.
But
does he ever like showcase or?
Yeah, you can watch like 7 minutes of the classes on YouTube, but I think you could. I don't know if you can now, but a couple years ago you could. But he's vicious. But it's 7 days, so the first 2, I mean, you're just done for. And then he embarrasses you in front of other people. And I think that's why people don't like him. But you have to understand what he's doing.
Exactly.
He's not purposely embarrassing anybody or hurting anybody. He's crushing you to zero so he can bring you back up in a better way. You know what I mean? Is that kind of like the military sort of?
Yes, definitely. Like when you go through the boot camp stage, they do break you down. Especially phase 1 is meant to break you down all the way down to the very, very bottom. And then phase 2, phase 3. Well, now there's 4 phases. When I went, there was 3.
Why do they have 4 now?
It's like a Marine. I think it's Marine. The Marine phase, I believe. So it's more of like a phase to just.
Is that like part of a Me Too movement or something?
I just know it's a phase just to let them actually conduct Marine things before they get to the fleet. So I don't.
Oh, so you think it's a good thing?
It can be a good thing. I haven't seen it, but I know it's projected to be a good thing because a lot of times, like myself, when I went back home like a robot. So, like my mom was like, they put food in front of me. So I never forget. I went to Zaxby's, in South Carolina around Parris Island. My recruiter at the time was like, go to Zaxby's and get it was like a chicken club sandwich. I picked that thing up and I scarfed it down. Like my family didn't even get to like pick up the sandwich yet. And then my mom was like, what in the world? Like, why'd you eat that so fast? And I was like, oh, well, that's just how we ate in boot camp. And then I'm always like, instead of saying mom, I was like, good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. My mom was like, just stop that. I'm your mother. Like, so it was that I was more of like a robot. I kind of like, I was literally like sitting at the dinner table. I'm back straight. My heels are there. So I was programmed to literally live like that. So now they kind of created a program to get away from the boot camp mindset and kind of like, hey, you're a Marine now. This is how we conduct business in the fleet, and this is how you would do when you show up.
Now, you haven't been through it. Do you think it's better for you to figure it out on your own? Like you went home and you were calling your mom ma'am and you figured out how to adjust by yourself? Or do you think it's better to have a transition back into normal society?
I think it's a better to have a transition because I feel like that period of time, I could have enjoyed it better with my family. Like I was so programmed to...
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Sit up straight. All that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. But I do believe that because what I went through, they gave us 10 days of boot leave. I think it was around 10 days, which is not a good thing, in my opinion. I like how they're doing it now. They were doing it for COVID, but I'm not sure if they fully changed it now. So they changed it where you go to boot camp, then you go straight to MCT now. So MCT is Marine Combat Training, which is 30 days. So now... the benefits is what that is. These guys still have their customs and courtesies, and they're still very disciplined just because they executed boot camp. Now they're about to go ahead and execute MCT. Now, sometimes you're taking a whole bunch of people that conducted boot camp, they're going back home, and now they fall into those traditions.
Yeah.
And now they're going back to MCT, so sometimes they kind of lost that, like that mission, like that, you know, keep on going. So that right there, I feel like they're doing a good thing with, all right, you're going to go to boot camp and then go to MCT, and then afterwards you can take your break. Like, yes, it does suck because you're not going to see your family for a while, but
at least when you do see your family, though, you'll be more human.
Exactly. You'll be more human, and also you would take MCT at least more seriously, in my opinion, because there's a lot of stupid stuff that happened to MCT. Like, people were like all butthurt because, or trying to sneak their phones and stuff like that, or
it just causes problems.
Yeah, it just causes problems. So I just feel like if you just go to boot camp and then go to MCT right after, you're still focused on mission. You're still focused on what you have to do and all the training that's in front of you. And you're just going to keep on pushing forward. So I think it's a good thing now that they're doing that.
Now that you're out and like everything's normal, do you have any regrets of going through that at all?
No. Honestly, I think, in my personal opinion, the Marine Corps is the best thing. It gave me so many opportunities to this day. So even when I transition out next year from Marine to civilian, all the opportunities I got was because of the Marine Corps. Right. So I'm very grateful. And it definitely opened my eyes. It took me to, I remember 2017. I came from Newburgh, New York, and even Lilo was, he knows that place.
Lilo?
Lilo, yeah. Sorry.
I can't say your name.
Yeah. My apologies.
He don't give a shit.
But he's seen that, and it's a shithole. And you don't see really great things. So when I went to,
when you say shithole, what, it's just a dump?
There's a lot of good places in Newburgh where like the waterfront's nice, but there's a lot of negativity in that city. So like one of my things I want to do is go back and really give back to the community, because there's a lot of, you know, fatherless kids out there. There's a lot of negative stuff, a lot of street stuff going on that needs to get cleaned up. It's not good. So from me seeing that type of environment and then going to California, and then I actually got to see like what Beverly Hills looked like, what Calabasas looks like. I was like, whoa, like this is right in front of me.
Like this really exists, right?
Yes, like this really exists. Like it's not on TV. So when I first seen that, I was like, I want to taste this. Like I'm gonna do whatever I can to taste this, because if another man can do it and other people went through worse shit than I did, there's other people like I talked to you about Manny Koshman before. This guy came from all the way from Iran. He's a fucking multimillionaire to this day. So
tell that story real quick, and then I'll let you get out of here. Tell it again real quick, because this is a good fucking story.
So about Manny Koshman?
Yeah, Manny Koshman.
Yeah, so this guy, I'm not sure if he was 10 or 14. He was very young when he came from Iran, and he went to California. He started his own company. He always had a drive, and man, like this guy, he will fail and get back up. He is literally like if you ever like look at his story, it's all about being persistent and consistency. It's never giving, like if you fall, get the fuck up and just continue pushing through. To this day, this guy owns, you know, the brand Hermes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all his cars are, I'm telling you, we could pull it up on YouTube. All his cars are Hermes print, like in the leather interior. Everything's customized. Like this guy does not drive a Lamborghini Aventador. That's just cheap for him. Like he drives
like a bicycle to him.
He drives the Paganis, the
Bugattis.
Shit. Yeah. He has multiple Bugattis, Paganis. The one that starts with a K, I can't even pronounce it.
And what's his main thing right now? Like revenue of income, the main revenue.
Oh, so he does commercial real estate.
God damn, that much.
Yeah, all around in the world. He does big business deals in commercial real estate. He also teaches people.
Now you're in real estate. How the hell does he get that big? Like, how in the fuck do you get that big? That's huge.
Honestly, I
just don't know. I don't know how like one guy could. I mean, you got to be a genius. I mean, you would have to be, right?
And also,
you would have to be able to calculate each state, each thing, and then for it to be that profitable to be where he's at, he would have to have everything extremely perfect.
But see, the difference with Manny Koshman, when he was a young kid, when he was my age, when he was around 23 years old, he already knew where he wanted to go. And he never lost sight of that. A lot of people, when they first touch money in the real estate market, what are they going to do? Oh, I want to buy the watch. I want to buy the car. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm not going to put it back into my business. What he did, whatever he made, he put it back into his business. And now look where he is today. Now he's buying not a fucking Corvette. Corvette's too cheap for him. This guy's buying fucking Bugattis. He's buying the Ferrari Pistas, which is like limited. He also has his wife drives the new Rolls Royce, which is insane. Like, he has multiple Rolls Royces, by the way, too. Man.
Well, like while everybody else was going around, you know, they made their first money. They went and got their Lamborghini or Ferrari or whatever. Yep. He pocketed. No. And now when they spend all their money and they're doing whatever they're doing, he's like...
Exactly. Now
he's like, I take a breath and I could buy one of them, you know? That's a good story, though.
And he smokes, he actually smokes every day. He smokes cigars every day. He has his own, so his actually cigar lounge, it's somewhere in California, but you have to have like a private membership. Like, you can't just be anybody. And like, oh, I'm just going to smoke here. Like, if I go to Smokin', where I just came from, in West Palm Beach, I could just walk in there, collect a few cigars, and just smoke that. No, you have to be actually like a private member to smoke this. You have to be somebody to be in that cigar lounge.
EK. Because you're talking about a fucking gazillion.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. That is true. But
great story, man. Well, I know you got, what do you got tomorrow?
Oh, I got a PFT to run. Well, it's like a mock PFT, yeah.
All right. I'll let you get out of here, buddy. Thank you for coming in, man.
I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you,
It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
This one, that's called Sleepyhead, and that one's called I'm on Fire. We shot that before the pandemic, and the reason why it's taking so long is because the filmmaker is actually Australian. And when this all happened, U.S. was really bad. As you remember in the beginning, Australia wasn't bad at all. So he left.
Well, you know what? And then, what's this one called?
It's called I'm on Fire.
I'm on Fire. Okay.
I have like dried up concrete on my face. These are my two sons. And this was a really good role for me. It was something much different than I had ever done. And it was really awesome working with everyone there.
Mustache.
Yeah.
And Leo's got a mustache.
Yeah, people ask me, like, is it real? I was like, yeah. Well, at first I grew the beard. And then, like, I waited till, like, the last second. I'm not going to walk around with a mustache if I don't have to.
What about the hair, though? Go to the next one, Rob.
Oh, the hair. Whew. Look at that.
Yeah, how'd you get the hair there? Is that your hair?
Yeah.
That is your hair.
The director said to me, he said...
Dude, you look 90.
Yeah, the director said to me, he said, his name is Michael Spiccia.
Yeah.
And David Stern, they wrote it. And Michael, they're best guys around, such nice guys. And he just, hey, mate. He said, can you...
And then, what's this one called?
It's called I'm on Fire.
I'm on Fire. Okay.
I have like dried up concrete on my face. These are my two sons. And this was a really good role for me. It was something much different than I had ever done. And it was really awesome working with everyone there.
Mustache.
Yeah.
And Leo's got a mustache.
Yeah, people ask me, like, is it real? I was like, yeah. Well, at first I grew the beard. And then, like, I waited till, like, the last second. I'm not going to walk around with a mustache if I don't have to.
What about the hair, though? Go to the next one, Rob.
Oh, the hair. Whew. Look at
that.
that.
Yeah, how'd you get the hair there? Is that your hair?
Yeah.
That is your hair.
The director said to me, he said...
Dude, you look 90.
Yeah, the director said to me, he said, his name is Michael Spiccia.
Yeah.
And David Stern, they wrote it. And Michael, they're best guys around, such nice guys. And he just, hey, mate. He said, can you FaceTime me in like a couple weeks to see? And then I did. I'm like, he's like, did you start growing your hair, mate? I'm like, yeah, that's all there is, brother.
That's not bad, though.
Well, you know what? For the character, it works.
It works perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, how old were they trying to get you to look?
I don't care about looking handsome in film. I want to come across as something different every time. Like, wow, that was Lilo. Wow, that was awesome. I didn't know he could do that.